Hi, I'm Ruthie, and this is Emily, and this is Ruthem's Fish Race.
So, how you play this game is you start by choosing one of the 5 fish, and I'm going to choose the pink one, number 2. And you take this bottle out from the rest of them, and you find your Cartesian diver in it. So, mine's one of these pink ones. There's 2 of each. And then you just begin squeezing and trying to get yours to race down to the bottom of the fish tank the fastest and back up. So... what you can win is to try and get all of the Cartesian divers that are up at the top down to the bottom of the fish tank and back up. Like this. You have to squeeze really hard. Like that. So there are 3 components that make this game work. Those 3 components are density, buoyancy, and Boyle's law. Density is the amount of mass or stuff inside of an object, and buoyancy is that object's ability to flow in water. Boyle's law describes how pressure of a gas increases as the volume of its container decreases. So like whenever you squeeze the bottle.
So, these 3 rules apply to this game because when there's no squeezing, the divers float, and when squeezing is applied, the divers start to sink, as Emily is showing. So, this is because the volume of the bottle decreases, which is putting more pressure onto the divers. As more pressure is put on the divers, there's more water that's sucked up into the diver. This causes more pressure to be put onto the air bubble, and the diver itself becomes more dense because water is more dense than air. So the divers begin to sink because they become more dense than its surroundings once the water is sucked up into them. Once the pressure is released, the air bubbles begin to push out the excess water that was brought into the divers, and they begin to float because they are becoming less dense than their surroundings again.
Colored fish, there are 2 types of divers. One is sealed and one is not. As you can see, with the sealed ones, they still sink and float back up, even though no water is able to get in and out. This is because the pressure on the bottle causes pressure on the divers, which makes them squeeze together, and this pushes the water up into the air bubble that the sealed divers have too, which decreases the volume in the divers and makes them more dense, and that is why they sink up and down too.
Wait, what am I saying? Oh wait, did you start? When they're...
The sealed ones are sealed with... Why am I explaining this?
For the divers, stop laughing!
Whenever me and Marina did a video before, we typed all the things we wanted to say up on our iPad, and then we just read from it. And it was so easy.
Okay.
Do you maybe want... or you could try and write it?
Yeah, I can do because I write pretty big.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we can just rip this out so I can have it.
Okay, so...
Maybe write these ones too for
okay.
me.
Released, the air bubble begins to press. So, before you begin the floaters, not apply. Oh my god. Release the
diver one. No. Diver. What? This that you read about. This.
So do you want her to stop after I say this part?